So here I have my weekly schedule, and this is going to be for this week. I have some different things happening. I have 2 birthdays in the family, so that definitely is a special week. Now, since I'm going to be using a lot of things that aren't necessarily to study, as we saw in the last video, I want to introduce another verb that's going to be extremely useful, and we're going to use it a lot when we get to the part around town, and we're talking about where we're going around town. And this verb is ir, which means to go. So I can use this for a lot of things when I'm not saying I have a class, which I will use the verb tener, but I'm going to conjugate it to say tengo. With ir, I will conjugate it to say voy. These are both irregular verbs, so they're both ones that we have to memorize, but they're worth it because they're so often used. So voy is going to mean I go, or I am going to, and tengo is I have. So starting off, it looks like the first thing I do on a schedule every day is that I go to my daughter's school. I bring her to school. So I'm going to use voy. Voy a la escuela a las 7:15 de lunes a jueves. Normally this would be lunes a viernes. I would go Monday through Friday, but this week we have a very special birthday party. So just one example of how this can be very flexible. And then I have some classes, so I'll use tengo. Tengo clases de español. More or less, it's about between 10 and 3 each day. Días a tres. And again, the same thing this week. De lunes a jueves. I could put in the morning to the afternoon, but I think it's pretty understood that it's 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and not 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. And then I have some things that are just happening this week. So it looks like I have a doctor's appointment. I can use voy. Voy al doctor el martes a las 7. Now, since this is a one-time appointment, I'm not doing this every single week. I'm going to make sure that I use this el, not los, because it's in the singular form. And I would do it like this for the rest of these one-time things. So I have to go to the airport. Voy a, I'll put it down here. Voy al aeropuerto a las 8 el miércoles. I can change the time, put the time first and the day last. It doesn't matter as long as your grammar is correct. And I would continue to do this to say I'm going to the cena familiar, voy a la playa, voy a la fiesta, and voy a la casa to finish off the week. So I'd like for you, especially if you don't have this academic schedule that's set every day or isn't traditional, to feel free to use these two verbs, ir and tener, to add more things to your weekly schedule, especially places that you have to go and things that you have to do. If you have a practice or a game, something like that with sports, you can include it, or a dinner like you saw, a party, a holiday. All of that can be included in your weekly schedule. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to fill out a template. Doesn't have to be this exact one. To fill out a template with your weekly schedule for this week, or if you feel more comfortable doing a general week, that's fine. And then to write at least 10 sentences describing the different things that happen throughout your week. So if I look here from what I wrote, if I really wanted to break this down, I could do my classes separately, and that right there would be 4 different sentences for 4 different days. But if I put them all together, that's 1 sentence. 1 to go to my daughter's school in the morning, 1 to go in the afternoon. Then I have another one here. That would be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So just with what I have here, which isn't nearly everything I have to do, and even combining all of my classes into 1 sentence, I would have 11 different sentences I could make. And this doesn't include other dinners, other activities that I have to do, and classes in the evening. So I think that should be no problem for you between your academic and things that like this that you have to include, to come up with 10 sentences and to describe kind of what your week is like for us.